you know, you need to exercise good judgment. You also need a little bit of luck, okay? And that is because you don't know who's reviewing your application. And so what that means is that once you're on a certain level where it's everybody's looking great, then there are things that are not in your control. And so what I say is, if you don't get it that first time, reapply, okay? It doesn't mean you weren't competitive, okay? It just means not this time. Think about how you can regroup, okay? Remember, this is a competition. So, Ford Foundation, if you're thinking about this for this year, the deadline is November 2nd. Most of these fellowships now, it's all online applications. I like to put this description up here to talk about the first step of the application process, which is understanding what they're looking for. Okay? Students tell me all the time, you know, I'm just going to write a single statement and I'm going to use that for everybody. Well, in general, that's good. Okay? You can start out with the same framework, but there are some programs that look for very specific things. So you want to look at your generic statement and personalize it for the program that you're applying for. So let's look at the description of the Ford Foundation Fellowship. So it seeks to increase the diversity of the nation's college and university faculties by increasing their ethnic and racial diversity to maximize the educational benefits of diversity and to increase the number of professors who can and will use diversity as a resource for enriching the education of all students. To facilitate this goal, the fellowship grants awards at the predoctoral, dissertation, and postdoctoral levels to students who demonstrate excellence, a commitment to diversity, and a desire to enter the professoriate. So, if you have a general statement, and that statement does not include, I want to be a professor, how competitive do you think you will be for this fellowship? Not at all. They'll say, you know, if you say, I'm going to open up my own clinic, okay, they'll say that is a wonderful aspiration for you, but that's not a good fit with our program, right? If you say, I want to end up, you know, starting my own .com business, again, they'll say, we applaud you, but that's not what we're looking for, okay? Because they've told you many times you should talk about how you as a woman and a woman of color are going to contribute to their goal of increasing diversity and the importance of diversity in the professoriate. So as a member of the faculty at a college or a university, okay? And so they're not only going to want you to mention it, but they're going to want you to communicate that this is somehow a passion of yours. Okay? So the other thing that I wanted you to notice was that the fellowship grants awards at the predoctoral, dissertation, and postdoctoral levels. Okay? Make sure you know what you're applying for. Okay? So if you're an undergrad and you're trying to get a fellowship to finish college, this is not for you. Okay? If you're planning to go to graduate school, so if you're a senior and you're graduating and you want money for next year, apply. If you're already in grad school and you want money to start, if you're early in grad school, you're going to be pre-doctoral. Okay? If you've already entered your candidacy for the PhD, then you're going to apply for a dissertation fellowship. That's going to give you money as you complete your dissertation research and write that up. Once you graduate, then you apply for postdoctoral fellowship. Again, it's paying attention to detail, okay? Many times you see students who are applying, they're not quite sure what they're applying for, right? And your time is precious, so if you pay attention on the front end, you won't be frustrated on the back end when you say, ah. And then demonstrate excellence. So don't just say, I have a commitment to excellence. When you're writing your application, you have to show them, okay? Now, sometimes you can think, sometimes it's easier to show them, okay? So you can say, I've been a leader in this organization, right? I've been conducting research with this professor for a number of years. When I first started, I was just, surveying the literature. By the time I, finished working with that professor, we were writing a paper together, and I was the lead author, right? That not only says that you have a commitment to leadership or a commitment to excellence, it shows it, right? Your path shows it. But you also want to be a little more creative, okay? Maybe you've been in a course where you were working in a group, and you led the group. Some courses have a research component to them. Be creative. Try to find things that you've done during your educational career that you could use to demonstrate the qualities that they say that they want. Because believe you me, reviewers sit there with a rubric and they parse statements like this, and they go and they check off. Do they have this? Do they have this? Do they have this? They put those descriptions there for a reason, okay? And the savvy applicant is going to pay attention to those details and tailor that generic statement to what that particular fellowship is looking for.